Hello snowboarders of the internet, I'm your host Avran LeFeber, and in this video we're going to be reviewing the all-new Capita Outerspace Living. This board features Capita's V3 Resort profile, which is just camber into an elongated rocker in the tip and the tail. So basically cam rocker. So you're gonna get all the load, pop, snap, and drive underfoot of traditional camber, but you're gonna get that ease of entry in and out of turns from that rocker, as well as more optimal powder float and a huge sweet spot to press and butter with. This board's available in 148, 150, 152, 154, 156, 158, 160, 155 wide, 157 wide, 159 wide, 161 wide. I rode this board at Copper Mountain on a sunny bluebird day with warmer temps. You had chop, chunder, creamy groomers, ice, little bit of slush, and I rode it with my Rome black label bindings and my K2 Thraxis boots. So the overall flex of this board feels like that intermediate rider's all mountain middle of the road. It's predictable, but it's not the stiffest thing out there. With that rocker or reverse in the nose and the tail, you got these huge sweet spots that are really soft and easy to press in the tips. Then it's stiffer through the midsection. The torsional flex is very easy to engage. You can really twist this board. And with stability, you're gonna feel that rocker section in the nose and the tail. That reverse, it just flexes so much. It speeds, it flaps, it reverberates back underfoot. You hit anything chunky, it's flexing and driving that power back underfoot, so you feel that. The midsection of this board is the most stable, and even that you're gonna wanna keep your knees bent because it does get bucked around if you get a little too gnarly for your own good. You know who you are. Basically, with this board having a cam rocker profile, you slightly load up the camber, you roll back on the tail, and it pops. It's very skate-like. You don't have to be overly calculated when you're coming into a side hit or gonna hit a roller with it. Now, is the pop good? It's okay. It'll get you in the air. It's not mind-blowing. There are better boards in this category that'll have more snap, but it's consistent. When it comes to jumps, small to medium-ish. And I stress that medium-ish. Like, you start hitting a 20-foot jump, you're gonna be really questionable with this thing because the tips are so soft. You have to land bolts, otherwise you're wheeling out or you're going ass over tea kettle with it. I do find that it is a little bit better to just let the lip throw. You don't try to load it up and pop off. You're not really gonna get much more than what the lip is gonna give you, so just push into that lip, arc through that transition, and just let it throw you. Like I said, small to medium jumps are really what you want to concentrate with this. Anything bigger, there are better boards from Capita that are going to be more suited to riding bigger jumps. You know you're digging this review so far, so why don't you click the thumbs up? Just go do it, it's right there. You know you want to. While you're down there, have you remembered to subscribe and click the bell so you get those notifications? Go do that. You know you need to. Be a lot cooler if you did. So with the flex in the nose and the tail of this board, you've got these huge sweet spots, right? You pretty much just need to slightly leverage your weight outside the insert packs and it's gonna fully engage. It's not really gonna fight you, but if you put a lot of pressure into it, you're gonna fold it. So tone it down a little bit. If you're just learning how to butter, lean back, lean forward, you're on the nose and tail, you can just sort of pivot around and swizzle on this if you have to. If you pop into it, like I said, you want to tone it down. It's going to do a deep, aggressive flex. It's going to want to slap down, so you're going to kind of have to figure out how you control it. And that translates over to how this thing jibs. If you ride onto your features, more power to you. Lean back, you're in a tail press. Lean forward, you're in a nose press. But if you pop, be aware you can overpower this. And if you're going sideways, while it is the more stiffer section of this board, it still aggressively cradles around the feature. You need to be aware of that. So if you're coming in hot from the top rope, probably gonna clap this thing out. Don't clap this thing out. No one wants to get clapped out. Ask your mom about that. She'll tell you all about it. It has a really smooth and fluid edge-to-edge power transmission. You can steer it right underfoot. You don't have to drive it aggressively, and that helps it with short, tight, quick carves and medium, mellow carves. Now, if you go to really aggressively drive this board from the center back through the tail, it's gonna kick out on you. There's just not enough rebound in that tail if you're really trying to lay it over. It folds, it washes out. The way I approach this is This is a board for someone that is an intermediate that is going to learn perfect board control. They don't need that power and precision yet. They're going to be able to go from a skidded turn to a locked in carve, and that's kind of where it caps itself out. Anything more aggressive, you need a more aggressive board. Rider in mind. So who is this board for? The progressing intermediate rider that's a little more freestyle focused. Do you like what we're doing over here? Do you want to support us further? Swing on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP and become a member. Sure, I could tell you more here, but I got a video over there that explains it so much better. It's a good board for someone that's a progressing intermediate rider, but you are going to outgrow it in a season or two if you're really assertive with your riding or you're going a lot. It's good for what it is. It's not great. The pop could be better. They did reshape it this year, so it rides a little bit different. In my opinion, it's a little more loose than it's been in the past. It's just kind of how it is. Like I said, good for someone that's a progressing intermediate, but if you know what you're doing, you're gonna want something else. Comparable boards: the Warden, the Nidecker Score. Binding recommendations: the Union Strata, the Vice, the Ride C6. This has been my review of the Capita Outerspace Living. Why don't you go check out one of the recommended binding reviews to see how it'll match up if you're buying this board.